Praise the Lord. My name is Janet Michael. I want to testify to the goodness of God and to his grace upon us as a commission and to the mommy and daddy he has given us. Praise the Lord. Exactly this time last year, I was very sick in the hospital. It started more like malaria and typhoid, and before we knew what was happening, it became acute kidney injury. So I was down in the hospital with a PCV of 16%, and then we began to treat the acute kidney injury. I remember before I had the first dialysis, the nurse met me and said, well, let me be honest with you, once you start dialysis, you have to live off dialysis for the rest of your life. And I told her, no, not me. So I want to bless God because I underwent 4 sections of dialysis. That was towards the 30th of December last year, and that was the last time till eternity.
Somebody make those hands bigger and better for Jesus. God is faithful.
The nurses were completely shocked concerning my recovery. I think I went after the hospital after I was discharged on the 3rd of January this year, 2024. I went back after 2 weeks and they could not recognize me at all. I had to reintroduce myself. I was the one that was here for dialysis. So I thank God for the speedy recovery and also for his preservation. Secondly,
celebrate the faithfulness of God.
Secondly, on the 3rd of December, I was to travel to Maiduguri for one of the international NGOs. We had a training with them. So we had return tickets on the 5th of this month. So returning back, we were on air, and then suddenly I was quiet reading my book, and my neighbor turned to me and said, there's something wrong with this plane. And I looked at him and said, no, there shouldn't be anything wrong with it. So before we knew what was happening, we were not ascending. And everybody began to panic, and before we could even look around, one of the engines made a loud sound, and that was how the engines went off. So people began to panic, and I was just praying. I was trying so hard not to panic because I knew where I was coming from, a home of safety. So
turn to your neighbor, say you are in the home of safety.
So they announced we had to, that was like 15 minutes into air, so we had to do an emergency landing back to Maiduguri. We were down, we arrived to the airport, waited for 8 hours for another flight from Kano, and then I arrived Abuja by 1 a.m. and got home 2 a.m. So I want to thank God for preservation. It could have been an entirely different story, but the Lord preserved us. And I want to bless God for mommy and daddy for their constant prayer of preservation. Praise the Lord.
Give God a mighty clap offering. Have you been in any flight that... I almost couldn't recognize you. Give God a mighty clap offering. Congratulations. Congratulations. We serve a miracle working God.